"I'm carrying your child, human," said the alien princess, and she wouldn't let go of me. Captain Elia's reign had traveled across countless star systems, each with its own wonders and dangers, yet nothing had prepared him for what lay ahead. The mission was simple on paper: a diplomatic exchange with a newly discovered alien species on the remote planet of Velira 9. Most reports described the planet as uninhabited save for strange plant life and vast glowing oceans, but satellite scans had hinted at structures hidden beneath thick forests, shapes that could only be cities. Curiosity burned in Elias like a steady flame, the same curiosity that had carried him through years of exploration and peril. He was trained for every conceivable challenge, yet he knew in his bones that every new world carried surprises that no protocol could prepare him for. The shuttle descended slowly, slicing through thick mist that clung to the dense foliage below. Trees stretched taller than any Elias had seen, their leaves shimmered in iridescent colors, and strange creatures leapt silently between branches. He felt a mix of awe and caution. His mission required him to observe and report, but as a human, he also had instincts that demanded vigilance. He landed in a clearing near the outskirts of a massive alien city, one that pulsed faintly with light and seemed almost alive, as though it were breathing in the night. Stepping onto the soft, spongy ground, Elias noticed the subtle hum beneath his feet. Energy, powerful and strange, flowed through the planet itself. He had studied hundreds of alien civilizations, but the energy signature here was unique. It was not threatening, yet it resonated with an intelligence that made him feel simultaneously insignificant and privileged to witness it. As he approached the city gates, Elias was surprised to see no guards immediately present. Instead, the gates themselves seemed aware of his presence. Symbols etched into their surface glowed softly, reacting to his movements. He had trained extensively in alien cultures, but he had never encountered architecture that seemed to think. Elias hesitated only briefly before stepping through. His human curiosity outweighed caution, though he remained alert. The city was beyond imagination. Buildings towered like crystalline trees, reflecting light in complex patterns. Bridges and walkways intertwined seamlessly, forming paths above and below ground level. Bioluminescent plants grew along the streets, lighting the way without the need for artificial lamps. Alien figures moved gracefully, their forms elegant and unfamiliar. Some had 4 arms, some had elongated necks, and all seemed to observe him carefully as he walked. Yet, despite the city's beauty, Elias sensed tension. A sudden commotion broke the calm. Alien guards, armed with weapons that glimmered with energy, were moving quickly through the streets. Shouts, translated automatically by his suit, warned of danger. Before Elias could assess, a squad of mercenaries emerged from the shadows, clad in dark armor and moving with lethal precision. They opened fire, aiming at the city's inhabitants without hesitation. Elias acted instinctively. Drawing his own weapon, he took cover behind a crystal pillar and returned fire. His aim was careful, precise, and controlled. He noticed one figure, distinct from the rest, moving toward the mercenaries with remarkable speed and grace. The figure was tall, regal, and radiated authority even amid chaos. She wielded a staff that projected energy in controlled bursts, fending off attackers with skill that suggested years of training. This was the princess, Elias realized instinctively. She was protecting her people, even at great personal risk. Elias moved forward, finding a path that allowed him to intercept a group of mercenaries threatening the princess. His shots were deliberate, aimed not to kill unless necessary, but to incapacitate. The mercenaries underestimated him, assuming humans were weak and fragile. They quickly discovered that humans could be clever, resilient, and unpredictable. Elias felt a surge of exhilaration, not from the fight itself, but from the sheer joy of survival and the chance to test his skills against unknown odds. When the last of the attackers fled, the princess, Liara, stood before him. Her eyes glowed softly, not with hostility but with curiosity. She had likely never seen a human in combat, and certainly not one who had saved her in the middle of her city. Elias lowered his weapon, offering a gesture of peace. Liara's expression softened, yet she remained cautious. She had responsibilities, her people's safety resting heavily on her shoulders, and every action she took was weighed with the utmost care. Liara spoke first, her voice melodic but firm. "You have saved my life, human. That alone requires explanation. Why are you here?" Elias hesitated, choosing his words carefully. Diplomacy had never come naturally to him, yet he had learned the importance of honesty and clarity. "I am Captain Elias Rain," he began. "I was sent to observe, learn, and establish a peaceful connection between our species. I had no expectation of combat, but it seems fate had other plans." Liara tilted her head, studying him as though trying to read his very thoughts. "Fate or courage," she said. "Perhaps both. Your actions show more than skill, they show understanding. You respect life even in the heat of battle." The compliment startled Elias. Rarely did someone recognize the human emphasis on empathy and reasoning. He smiled modestly. "I do what I can. It seems your people value honor and loyalty. I respect that. Perhaps that is why I survived this encounter." Liara studied him further, then gestured for him to follow. She led him through the streets, past structures that pulsed with energy and through gardens filled with alien flora. The citizens watched silently but with curiosity. They had likely never seen a human, and certainly not one who had acted with both courage and restraint. Elias felt a mix of pride and humility. Humans were often underestimated, but in moments like these, their qualities shone brightly. They arrived at a large chamber at the heart of the city, where Liara's people gathered for council. Elias noticed intricate carvings on the walls, depicting the history of the planet and its rulers. The energy in the room was dense, almost tangible, and it hummed in harmony with the pulse of the city itself. Liara addressed her council, introducing Elias as a human ambassador and protector, a figure who had demonstrated both bravery and respect. The council members reacted with surprise and suspicion. Humans were largely unknown, and their qualities often misunderstood. Yet the undeniable evidence of his deeds spoke louder than words. After the council meeting, Liara escorted Elias to a private area where he could rest and recover. She seemed restless, her mind occupied with thoughts of both her people's safety and the strange human who had entered their world. Elias noticed her hesitation, the subtle tension in her posture, and understood that trust would not come easily. Humans and aliens had very different instincts, and bridging that gap required patience, humility, and integrity. Over the next several hours, Elias learned more about Liara's city and her people. Their culture valued balance, intelligence, and cooperation above all else. Strength alone was insufficient. One had to combine courage with wisdom and empathy. Elias shared stories of humanity, emphasizing ingenuity, resilience, and compassion. Liara listened, intrigued. Humans, she realized, were far more complex than her initial assumptions. As night fell, the city's glow intensified. Bioluminescent plants lit pathways like rivers of light, and the air carried a soft hum of energy that resonated in Elia's chest. He and Liara walked along a balcony overlooking the city, discussing strategy, history, and their differing worlds. There was an unspoken connection forming, one built on respect, courage, and a shared sense of responsibility. Yet danger lingered. Elias knew the mercenaries were only a part of the threat. The political dynamics within Liara's council were delicate, and factions opposed to outsiders could easily see him as a threat. His presence, while beneficial in battle, might complicate the fragile balance of trust and diplomacy. Still, he remained committed to his mission, understanding, protecting, and bridging the gap between two species. Before retiring for the night, Liara paused and looked at Elias. "You are unlike any being I have met, human. You face fear without losing yourself. That is rare. That is admirable." Elias smiled, a quiet acknowledgement of her words. "I believe courage is not the absence of fear, Princess, but the choice to act despite it. Perhaps our species have more in common than you think." Liara nodded, thoughtful. "Perhaps you are right. Tomorrow we will begin the work of learning, of understanding each other. But for now, rest. You have earned it." As Elias settled into the soft resting area provided by Liara's people, he reflected on the day's events. He had expected a diplomatic mission, perhaps some minor cultural exchanges, but instead found himself in the heart of an alien city, saving a princess, earning the cautious trust of a new species, and beginning a journey that could change the course of history. The hum of the city echoed in his mind, a reminder that every world had its secrets, and every encounter held the potential for wonder. Elias drifted to sleep, ready to face whatever challenges awaited with courage, intelligence, and the uniquely human gift of empathy. The next morning, the alien city of Valira 9 shimmered in hues of violet and blue as the twin suns rose over the horizon. Captain Elias Rain awoke feeling a mixture of excitement and unease. The events of the previous day had left a deep impression on him. He had saved a princess, earned cautious trust, and witnessed the wonders of a civilization far beyond anything humanity had encountered. Yet he knew that the journey was only beginning. Liara arrived at his quarters with a quiet grace that seemed to bend the air around her. She was radiant, regal, and yet approachable, a paradox that fascinated Elias. "You are awake," she said, her voice soft yet commanding. "Good, we have much to discuss today." Elias nodded. "I am ready. Whatever the day holds, I want to understand your people better. I want to help if I can." Liara studied him for a moment, then led him through winding streets that twisted like rivers of glass and light. Citizens moved around them, some staring curiously, others bowing slightly in recognition of their princess. The city felt alive in a way Elias had never experienced. Every building, every walkway seemed to respond to the inhabitants, a delicate symphony of design and energy. Their destination was the council chambers. Yesterday's events had left some council members uneasy. Many had never interacted with humans, and fear often disguised itself as distrust. Liara intended to introduce Elias properly, giving him the opportunity to earn their respect not just through action, but through presence and words. Inside the grand chamber, aliens of varying forms and sizes awaited. Some had smooth, reflective skin that caught the light like liquid metal. Others had translucent wings that fluttered softly, casting prismatic patterns across the walls. Despite their differences, they shared an aura of intelligence and authority. Liara stepped forward. "Counselors, Captain Elias Rain is a human ambassador. He has proven his courage and his respect for life. Today, he will speak to you, not as a warrior but as a friend who seeks understanding." Elias stepped forward cautiously, aware of every pair of eyes on him. He had prepared countless speeches for diplomatic missions, but nothing could fully prepare him for this moment. He took a deep breath. "I come from a world far from here. Humans have fought, failed, and learned many lessons. We value curiosity, empathy, and intelligence. We believe that life, in any form, is precious. I am here to learn from you, to share what we know, and to find a way for our people to coexist peacefully." Murmurs rippled through the council. Some members nodded slowly, impressed by the calm conviction in his voice. Others remained skeptical, their eyes sharp with caution. One counselor, taller and more angular than the rest, stepped forward. "Humans are fragile. Your kind is weak compared to the strength required to survive the universe. How can we trust you with our people's safety?" Elias met the counselor's gaze without hesitation. "Fragility is only physical," he said. "The strength of the mind, of compassion, of courage, can be greater than any weapon. I have faced danger today and chose to protect life, even at risk to myself. That choice shows who we are, not just what we look like. A hush fell over the chamber. Even the skeptical counselor appeared taken aback. Elias realized that humans often underestimated themselves. Yet his actions and words demonstrated that courage and intelligence were universal virtues. Liara's eyes softened with approval, and for the first time, Elias felt that his presence could bridge the gap between their species. After the meeting, Liara led him outside to a terrace overlooking the city. "You handled yourself well," she said. "They may not fully trust you yet, but you have shown that humans can be more than outsiders. They can be allies." Elias smiled. "Thank you. I hope my actions today are enough to show that humans can contribute, not just observe." Liara's expression grew serious. "Actions alone are not enough. Our city faces threats, both external and internal. There are those who see outsiders as a danger. You must be careful. I must be careful. Trust is fragile and enemies are patient." Elias nodded, understanding the weight of her words. "I will follow your guidance, but I am not here to hide. If my presence can help protect your people, I will stand openly. That is the only way humans can be honest allies." Liara looked at him, a mixture of admiration and concern in her eyes. "Then you are braver than most I have met. Let us hope courage is enough." The day unfolded with lessons and exploration. Liara introduced Elias to the city's technology, which was unlike anything he had seen. Buildings responded to thought and movement, energy flowed through streets and bridges, and transportation was achieved not through machines, but through the manipulation of energy fields. Humans had machines and tools, but here, intelligence and focus were the keys to power. Elias was fascinated. He asked questions constantly, tested theories, and observed patterns. Liara watched him closely. Unlike many aliens, he did not assume superiority. He was humble, curious, and persistent. She realized that his species had qualities that could surprise even the most advanced civilizations: adaptability, empathy, and the courage to act when others hesitated. As they moved through the city, danger struck again. A minor earthquake, unusual for the planet, shook the streets. Crystalline structures cracked, bridges swayed, and citizens panicked. Elias' instincts took over. He helped evacuate a group of young aliens trapped on a swaying bridge. Using energy harnessed from his suit, he stabilized the bridge long enough for them to escape. Liara assisted, combining her energy control with his quick thinking. Together, they saved lives. Afterward, the council reconvened to discuss the earthquake. Many members were impressed by Elias' actions. His courage and intelligence had not only saved lives, but also demonstrated that humans could think creatively under pressure. Liara spoke on his behalf, her voice carrying both authority and personal trust. "You have seen how he acts," she said. "Humans may appear fragile, yet their minds are sharp, their hearts brave. Captain Elias Rain has proven that he can be a valuable ally, not just in words but in action." The council deliberated, and while some remained cautious, the majority agreed to allow Elias to continue his mission. He was given access to city archives, permitted to accompany Liara on official duties, and invited to participate in cultural rituals. For a human, these were remarkable privileges. He felt honored, yet aware that every step he took would be scrutinized. Over the following days, Elias and Liara grew closer. They trained together, combining human ingenuity with alien energy manipulation. He taught her simple human strategies for improvisation and resourcefulness, while she demonstrated the power of concentration and energy control. The exercises were challenging, sometimes frustrating, but always rewarding. Elias found himself respecting Liara not only as a princess, but as a warrior, a leader, and a thinker. Their bond extended beyond training. They shared meals beneath glowing trees, discussing dreams, fears, and the responsibilities of leadership. Elias learned about Liara's hopes for her people, to thrive without oppression, to balance tradition with progress, and to protect their planet's delicate ecosystems. She learned about humanity's resilience, creativity, and the endless drive to explore and understand the universe. One evening, as twin moons rose over the horizon, Elias and Liara stood on a balcony overlooking the city. The hum of energy beneath their feet seemed almost musical. Liara's expression was thoughtful, tinged with concern. "Captain, there is something I must tell you," she said. Elias turned to her, sensing the seriousness in her tone. "What is it?" he asked gently. Liara hesitated, choosing her words carefully. "Our people have traditions that govern life, alliance, and the future. I have observed you closely, and you have proven yourself worthy in ways few outsiders could. Yet there is a matter that must be considered, one that may change everything between us." Elias waited, his curiosity piqued but tempered by caution. He had learned to navigate unknown cultures carefully, and he knew that every statement from Liara carried weight beyond the immediate words. "I am not free of responsibility," Liara continued. "The future of our city, the balance of our people, and my role as a leader, all are intertwined. I sense in you a quality rare among your kind, courage paired with compassion. For that reason, I trust you, Elias, more than anyone else." Elias felt a surge of emotion. It was one thing to earn respect. It was another to be trusted personally by a ruler of such magnitude. "Liara," he said softly, "I am honored. I will do everything I can to uphold that trust." She looked at him, her gaze steady and unwavering. "Trust is a beginning, Elias, but actions will define what comes next. You have shown your value in battle and in thought. Tomorrow we face new challenges together. Be prepared." As Elias retired that night, he reflected on the journey so far. He had entered an alien city as an observer, faced dangers he could never have predicted, and begun forging a bond with a princess whose life and world depended on courage, wisdom, and cooperation. He realized that humans, often underestimated, could make a profound impact on civilizations far beyond their own. The stars above Velira 9 twinkled like scattered jewels, and Elias felt a quiet determination settle within him. He would continue to act with intelligence, compassion, and courage, proving that humanity's qualities could bridge worlds. The challenges ahead would test him in ways he could not yet imagine, but he welcomed them. For in every challenge lay opportunity, the chance to protect, to learn, and to grow. The days that followed were filled with lessons, exploration, and the quiet building of trust. Captain Elias Rain moved through the alien city of Velira 9 with increasing confidence, though he never allowed himself to forget that he was still a stranger in this world. The streets, alive with energy and light, became familiar under his careful observation. Citizens no longer stared with pure curiosity. Some nodded in recognition, and a few even smiled. He had earned a measure of respect that few outsiders could claim. Liara, the alien princess, continued to guide him. She introduced him to more of her people, teaching him about their culture, technology, and the delicate balance that governed their society. Elias listened carefully, asked questions, and observed, always aware that trust was a fragile gift. Every action mattered. Every word could either build bridges or deepen suspicion. It was during one of their walks through a glowing forest, a place where the bioluminescent plants formed a natural canopy, that Liara spoke of a responsibility she had kept hidden. The forest was quiet except for the soft hum of energy flowing through the trees. Elias felt the pulse beneath his feet, a rhythm that seemed alive and conscious. "Elias," she began, her voice steady but carrying an unfamiliar hesitation, "there is something I must tell you. It is not a trivial matter, and it will affect both of us." He looked at her attentively. Her expression was serious, unlike the calm determination she usually displayed. "You can tell me anything, Liara. I promise I will listen and I will understand." She took a deep breath, her eyes meeting his. Our people have traditions and responsibilities that govern leadership and lineage. There are rules for alliances, for heirs, and for the future of our city. I have made choices that affect all of us. She paused, then continued with a clarity that was both startling and intimate. Elias, I am carrying your child. The words struck him with the force of a meteor. He felt as though the air had been suddenly replaced with weightless vacuum, leaving him momentarily suspended between disbelief and awe. He opened his mouth, but no words came. His mind raced, trying to reconcile everything he had seen, felt, and learned with the reality of her declaration. Liara stepped closer, her hand resting gently on his arm. I know this is unexpected, human. It is not a trivial matter, and I do not take it lightly. The child I carry could change the future of my people and perhaps the relationship between our species. That is why I trust you with this truth. I need your support, your courage, and your understanding. Elias finally found his voice, though it was low and uncertain. Liara, I don't know what to say. I never imagined, this changes everything. She nodded. Yes, it does, but it is not a curse. It is a responsibility, yes, but also a rare honor. The life I carry is a bridge between worlds. It could unite our people and bring harmony, or it could bring conflict if handled poorly. That is why I tell you this now. You must decide how you will respond, not for yourself, but for the future. Elias felt a surge of emotion he had rarely experienced. Responsibility had never been abstract for him. As a human, he had faced danger, navigated alien cultures, and survived situations that had tested every fiber of his being. But this was unlike anything he had imagined. It was no longer a question of courage in battle or diplomacy. It was a question of protecting life itself. I will not abandon you, he said finally, his voice steady despite the storm of thoughts within him. I will protect you and our child, no matter the danger. I promise. Liara's eyes softened, and for the first time, Elias saw a flicker of relief in her otherwise composed expression. I had to know, Elias. I had to see if humans were capable of understanding the weight of such responsibility. You have shown your worth beyond what I expected. They continued their walk through the forest, the bioluminescent trees casting gentle light over their path. Elias spoke carefully, asking questions about her people's customs, about what the child's birth would mean, and about the potential consequences if enemies learned of this union. Liara answered openly, revealing the delicate balance of power within her city and the dangers posed by factions who opposed alliances with outsiders. It will not be easy, she said. There are those who will see this child as a threat, a symbol of change they do not want. They may act against us, even within my own council. Elias nodded, absorbing the gravity of her words. Then we must be prepared. If your people fear change, we must show them that cooperation is strength, not weakness, and we must protect the child no matter what. Over the next days, Elias and Liara worked closely together. They trained in the city's energy manipulation techniques, combining human strategy with alien precision. Elias proved adaptable, quickly learning to harness the subtle currents of energy that flowed through the city's streets and buildings. Liara was impressed by his determination, his ability to improvise, and his focus under pressure. Yet the true challenge was not training, it was the politics of trust. Factions within the council watched them closely, suspicious of the human who now shared a bond with the princess. Some counselors whispered, some plotted, and some observed silently, waiting for mistakes. Elias noticed these tensions and navigated them carefully. Every gesture, every word, every act of respect toward Liara and her people was a calculated effort to build trust. One day, an urgent message arrived. A group of mercenaries, likely hired by rivals within the city and beyond, had been spotted near the outskirts. They were well armed, ruthless, and determined to exploit any weakness. Elias and Liara knew they could not wait for the council to act. Immediate action was required. They left the city under cover of night, moving swiftly through hidden paths known only to the princess and her trusted aides. The forest seemed alive, guiding them, yet filled with hazards, predatory creatures, unstable terrain, and energy surges that could disorient even the most skilled travelers. Elias relied on his instincts, his human ingenuity, and his training to navigate the terrain safely. As they approached the mercenaries' camp, they observed quietly. The attackers were numerous, their technology advanced, but their discipline was predictable. Elias whispered a strategy. "We cannot engage them head-on. We must use their overconfidence against them, divide their forces, and force them to retreat without endangering ourselves or the city." Liara nodded, her focus intense. "Agreed. Use your human strategies, Elias. I will coordinate the energy defense. Together we can protect the city and our people." The plan unfolded with precision. Elias created diversions, using the environment to his advantage. Rocks tumbled down slopes, creating noise and confusion. Bioluminescent plants were manipulated to cast blinding light, disorienting the attackers. Liara channeled energy through her staff, controlling pathways and entrances, her movements fluid and exact. The combination of human cunning and alien mastery proved formidable. By dawn, the mercenaries were retreating, disorganized and defeated without a single fatality among the defenders. Elias and Liara returned to the city, exhausted but triumphant. The council could not ignore their success. Even the most skeptical members had to acknowledge the value of the human who had proven courage, intelligence, and ingenuity beyond expectation. As they rested, Liara turned to Elias, her expression soft. "You have shown that humans are capable of more than we imagined. You think, you adapt, and you act with compassion. These qualities, they are rare in the universe. I am grateful you are by my side." Elias smiled, feeling a warmth he had not anticipated. "And I am grateful for your trust, Liara. You have shown me that courage is universal, that intelligence can bridge worlds, and that compassion can protect life even in the darkest situations." The bond between them deepened, no longer just one of necessity or circumstance. It was a bond of mutual respect, trust, and shared purpose. Elias realized that his journey had evolved from exploration to something far greater: the protection of life, the forging of alliances, and the building of understanding between species. And always in the back of his mind was the knowledge of the child they now shared. A life that symbolized hope, unity, and the potential for a future neither species could achieve alone. It was a responsibility heavier than any he had faced, yet he felt ready. The city of Velira 9 thrummed with life, unaware of the quiet victory that had occurred just beyond its borders. The hum of energy seemed almost to celebrate the union of human and alien effort, a reminder that collaboration and courage could overcome even the most dangerous threats. That night, as Elias and Liara stood on a balcony beneath the twin moons, they looked out over the glowing city. Stars twinkled beyond the atmosphere, distant and eternal. Elias placed a hand on Liara's shoulder, feeling the steady pulse beneath her skin, a rhythm connected to both the city and the life growing within her. "Whatever comes next," he said quietly, "we will face it together, for the city, for your people, and for our child." Liara nodded, her hand resting over his. "Yes, together. The future may be uncertain, but with courage and wisdom we can shape it. You have proven that humans are capable of greatness, Elias. Never doubt that." The wind carried the soft hum of energy across the balcony, wrapping around them like a protective embrace. Elias felt a sense of calm determination settle in his chest. He had learned much in a short time, about alien cultures, about leadership, and about the resilience of life itself. Yet he also knew that the most challenging tests were still ahead: navigating political intrigue, ensuring the safety of the city, and protecting the child who represented the hope of two worlds. As he watched the city pulse with light and life, Elias understood the truth that Liara had glimpsed so clearly. Humans, though physically fragile, possessed an inner strength unmatched by many civilizations. Courage, compassion, intelligence, and adaptability. These were qualities that could influence the fate of worlds, build alliances, and protect life. He vowed silently that he would use these qualities fully, for the sake of Liara, their child, and the future of both their peoples. And in that quiet moment, beneath alien moons and glowing trees, the bond between human and princess solidified, a partnership forged not by convenience or fate alone, but by choice, respect, and the unwavering commitment to protect and build a better future together. The days following the revelation of the child's existence were filled with quiet vigilance. Captain Elia's reign and Princess Liara moved through the alien city with a heightened awareness of both danger and responsibility. Every shadow, every whisper among the citizens, every glance from the council reminded them that their bond, though genuine, had drawn attention and unease. Allies and enemies alike were watching, calculating the potential impact of a human's proximity to the princess. Liara guided Elias through secret chambers, hidden corridors, and the city's energy conduits, teaching him the subtleties of her people's power. Humans relied on tools and machines. Aliens relied on the flow of energy within themselves and their environment. Elias adapted quickly, combining human improvisation with alien discipline, a combination that impressed Liara repeatedly. Each exercise strengthened their partnership and deepened mutual trust. Despite their progress, tensions simmered beneath the surface. One morning, while reviewing energy patterns in the city archives, Liara spoke of rumors she had heard within the council. "There are factions," she said quietly, "who believe that your presence is a threat. They see the child as a symbol of change, something they do not want. Some may act openly, others in secrecy." Elias frowned. "Then we need to be ready for anything. If they plot against you or the child, we must act before harm comes to either." Liara nodded. "Agreed, but we must also act wisely. Preemptive strikes could be seen as aggression, and I will not endanger the city in an attempt to protect my own family. We need subtlety, strategy, and allies." Over the next few days, Elias and Liara strengthened their defenses quietly. They trained in energy manipulation and combat, prepared escape routes, and secured hidden safe houses. Elias marveled at the precision and beauty of Liara's techniques. Every movement had purpose. Every action created harmony or defense. His human skills, improvisation, observation, quick decision-making, added a layer of unpredictability that made them a formidable team. It was during one of these exercises that the first real threat arrived. Scouts from a rival faction had entered the city, cloaked in shadows and armed with advanced weaponry. Elias detected their approach using his suit's sensors, while Liara sensed disruptions in the energy flow beneath the city. They moved silently, combining human stealth and alien energy control to intercept the intruders. The confrontation was swift but intense. Elias disarmed several attackers using quick, precise strikes and careful timing. Liara controlled the energy around them, creating barriers and redirecting force with flawless execution. Together, they neutralized the threat without endangering civilians. The scouts fled, leaving evidence that revealed their allegiance to a faction within the council itself. This revelation sent shockwaves through the city's leadership. Some council members were outraged, others fearful, and a few openly acknowledged that human presence, far from being a liability, had been essential in preventing disaster. Liara's trust in Elias deepened further. She saw that humans were not just resilient in combat, but capable of thinking strategically, adapting and protecting life without the need for overwhelming force. Despite their success, the danger was far from over. Elias knew that external enemies could arrive at any moment, drawn by rumors of the princess's pregnancy and the human who now stood by her side. The city's defenses, though impressive, could not anticipate every possible threat. They would need ingenuity, courage, and the ability to act decisively under pressure. The weeks that followed were a test of endurance. Elias and Liara navigated diplomatic challenges, internal politics, and the constant threat of attack. They attended council meetings, participated in ceremonial rituals, and maintained a visible presence to reassure citizens. Each day was a delicate balance between demonstrating capability and maintaining the perception of harmony. One evening, while reviewing maps of the surrounding territory, Liara grew concerned. "There are movements beyond the city," she said. "Groups gathering in the northern forests. They are organized, disciplined, and likely preparing for a coordinated strike. If they move soon, the city will be at risk." Elias studied the maps carefully. "We need to intercept them before they reach the city. If we wait, the advantage will be theirs. We can use the terrain to our advantage, set traps, create diversions, and divide their forces. They will not expect us to act preemptively." Liara considered his words. "Your strategies are unconventional, but I see the logic. You are willing to act decisively while minimizing risk to civilians. That is a rare quality among leaders of any species." Together, they devised a plan. Elias would lead small teams through hidden paths, creating confusion and disrupting the enemy's coordination. Liara would control the energy fields of the forests, guiding their movements and providing support where needed. The operation required perfect timing, trust, and flawless execution. The night before the operation, Elias and Liara walked through the city's gardens. The soft glow of bioluminescent plants bathed the paths in gentle light. Citizens moved quietly, unaware of the preparations underway. Elias felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. Protecting the princess and their child was more than a duty. It was a matter of life and hope for two worlds. "Do you ever doubt us, Elias?" Liara asked softly. He smiled, though the seriousness in his eyes was unmistakable. "Doubt is human, Liara, but I trust in our abilities, our partnership, and our purpose. We have faced challenges before, and we will face more. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the choice to act despite it." Liara's expression softened. "You have a way of seeing things that humans rarely share with others. That is why I trust you, more than I have trusted anyone outside my species." The operation began at dawn. Elias led teams through the northern forests, moving with precision and caution. He used the terrain to create obstacles, forcing enemy units to split and confront unexpected hazards. Liara's control of energy fields guided their movements, ensuring safety while maximizing disruption. The attackers, though skilled and numerous, were unable to anticipate the combined human and alien strategy. During the operation, Elias encountered a small squad attempting to flank their position. Acting instinctively, he used his environment, rock formations, fallen trees, and energy pulses, to neutralize the threat without harm. Liara, sensing his need for support, redirected energy to amplify his actions, creating a seamless combination of human improvisation and alien precision. By midday, the enemy forces were in disarray. Units retreated, leaders captured, and plans disrupted. Elias and Liara returned to the city, exhausted but victorious. The council could not ignore the success of their actions. Even the most skeptical members acknowledged the value of human ingenuity and the strength of their partnership. That evening, as they walked through the city streets, citizens greeted them with quiet admiration. The visible display of courage and cooperation had earned respect not through force alone, but through intelligence, compassion, and the ability to act decisively. Liara's eyes shone with pride both for her people and for Elias. "You have done more than I imagined possible," she said. Humans, though fragile in form, possess a strength that can influence entire worlds. You have shown that today. Elias smiled, feeling a sense of fulfillment he had rarely experienced. And you have shown me that leadership is not just about strength. It is about trust, responsibility, and the courage to face challenges together. Our partnership has proven that even the smallest actions can have great impact. The following days were quieter, yet no less significant. The city rebuilt and strengthened defenses, and Elias and Liara focused on preparing for the child's arrival. The unborn life symbolized hope, unity, and the potential for a future where humans and aliens could work together. Every decision, every training session, every diplomatic discussion was influenced by the awareness of the responsibility they now shared. One evening, Liara paused at the balcony overlooking the city. The twin moons reflected on the glowing streets, casting patterns of light and shadow. Elias stood beside her, feeling the quiet strength of her presence. "The child will change everything," she said softly. "For my people, for your species, and for the future. But I believe in us, Elias. I believe that together we can face any challenge." Elias placed a hand gently on hers. "And I believe that humans, despite our flaws, have the courage, intelligence, and compassion to shape the future. We will protect the child, protect the city, and ensure that hope prevails." The hum of the city beneath them seemed to echo their resolve. Energy pulsed through streets, buildings, and citizens, a rhythm of life and potential. Elias realized that humans, often underestimated, had qualities that could shape worlds: adaptability, ingenuity, courage, and empathy. These traits, combined with Liara's mastery and the trust they shared, created a force stronger than any weapon or army. As night fell, Elias and Liara stood together in quiet contemplation. The dangers they had faced were real, yet they had emerged stronger, their bond unbroken. The city slept under the protective glow of its energy fields, citizens unaware of the perils that had been thwarted by human and alien cooperation. Elias knew that the greatest challenges were still ahead. Political intrigue within the council, external threats, and the responsibilities of parenthood would test them further. Yet he felt ready. He had seen the strength of unity, the power of courage tempered by compassion, and the potential of humans to rise above expectation. In that quiet moment beneath alien moons and glowing skies, Elias understood the true meaning of their journey. It was not just survival, not just alliance. It was the creation of something enduring, a partnership built on trust, courage, and shared purpose. The child they would bring into the world would inherit not just life, but the promise of cooperation, understanding, and hope between two species. And as they stood together, hands entwined, the glow of the city around them seemed to shine brighter. It was a reminder that even in the vastness of the universe, courage, empathy, and intelligence could light the darkest paths and guide the future toward peace and unity. The days grew heavier as the time approached for the arrival of Liara's child. The city of Velira 9 buzzed with quiet anticipation, though few citizens knew the full significance of the unborn life. Captain Elias Rain moved through the streets with a careful balance of vigilance and calm. Each step he took was measured, every decision considered. He had faced danger, intrigue, and uncertainty, yet nothing prepared him for the emotions he felt now: excitement, awe, and a profound sense of responsibility. Liara's pregnancy had changed their lives in subtle yet profound ways. Her steps were measured, her energy focused inward, and her mind often distant as she prepared for the life growing within her. Elias stayed close, learning how to support her, reading subtle signs in her behavior, and ensuring her safety. Their bond had grown beyond partnership. It was now familial, a shared commitment to life and the future. One morning, as twin suns rose over the city, Liara summoned Elias to the energy chambers. The chambers were vast, filled with flowing currents of light that responded to thought and movement. Liara's people used these chambers to strengthen their energy control, and now she wished to prepare herself for childbirth, to harmonize her body and the child with the city's rhythms. "You must understand," she said quietly, "that this process is more than physical. It is a synchronization of life, energy, and intention. The city itself will resonate with the child's birth. You will need to remain focused, calm, and attentive." Elias nodded, absorbing every word. "I will do whatever is necessary. I will be by your side, Liara. Nothing will threaten you or the child if I can prevent it." Hours passed as they trained together. Elias learned to perceive the subtle currents of energy, to anticipate shifts in the flow, and to respond in ways that complemented Liara's own abilities. It was exhausting, yet profoundly enlightening. He realized that human intuition, combined with alien energy control, created a synergy neither species had seen before. That evening, a tremor shook the city. The energy beneath their feet surged unpredictably, and citizens felt it, some panicking while others remained calm under Liara's guidance. Elias sensed the warning immediately. The child's birth was beginning. Liara's expression was serene, yet focused. "This is the moment, Elias. You must remain steady. Channel your focus into protection, not panic. The child will sense our composure." They moved to the central chamber, where energy flowed strongest and where the city's pulse could support the birth. Liara positioned herself, centering her focus, while Elias stood nearby, ready to respond to any threat or imbalance. The room's energy responded to their presence, glowing brighter, vibrating in harmony with Liara's life force and the child within her. Hours passed in concentrated silence. Liara's energy shifted, waves of strength, focus, and life radiating outward. Elias assisted, guiding flows, stabilizing currents, and maintaining balance. The intensity was overwhelming at times, yet he drew strength from their shared purpose. Every challenge, every danger they had faced together had prepared them for this moment. Finally, the energy shifted dramatically. A wave of pure light filled the chamber, resonating with the rhythm of life itself. Liara's eyes shone, and Elias felt a surge of awe unlike anything he had ever experienced. The child, a being born of two species, emerged into a universe that had never seen such a combination. Its energy flowed with both human warmth and alien precision, a living symbol of unity and hope. Elias bent forward, gently taking the child into his arms. The tiny life stirred, emitting soft waves of energy that intertwined with his own heartbeat. Liara smiled, exhaustion and joy mingling in her expression. "Elias, it is perfect. Our child, it carries the promise of two worlds." Tears formed in Elias' eyes, a mixture of relief, awe, and gratitude. "It is more than perfect, Liara. It is life itself, a bridge between our species, a testament to courage, compassion, and trust." The chamber's energy pulsed rhythmically, harmonizing with the child, Elias, and Liara. Citizens who had gathered outside could sense the wave of life, feeling calm, hope, and unity flow through the city. The child's birth, though unseen by most, became a beacon of connection, a reminder that even in a universe filled with conflict, life and cooperation could prevail. As the city settled into the quiet after the birth, Liara and Elias took a moment to rest. The child slept in Elias' arms, a soft hum of energy vibrating gently. Liara leaned against him, her exhaustion softened by relief and joy. "You have done more than I could have imagined, Elias," she said softly. "You have protected me, guided me, and now together we have brought new life into this world. Your courage and intelligence, they are unmatched." Elias smiled, feeling the weight of responsibility settle lightly, tempered by hope. "And you, Liara, have shown me the strength of leadership, compassion, and trust. This child will inherit those qualities from both of us. I promise to protect and guide them as I have promised you." The next days were filled with quiet celebration. Council members, once skeptical, came to witness the child and to acknowledge the human's role in protecting the princess and the city. Even those who had feared change now saw the promise in this new life. Elia's presence, once controversial, became a symbol of unity and trust. Citizens offered gifts of energy crystals, plants, and tools designed to nurture life. They spoke in hushed tones, sharing stories of hope and resilience. Elias watched, realizing that humans and aliens, despite differences in form and culture, shared the same desire: to protect life, to foster growth, and to create a future worth living. Liara, recovering from the birth, focused on teaching Elias more about energy control and city governance. The child, though young and delicate, already demonstrated sensitivity to their surroundings. Elias could feel its tiny pulses of energy, responsive to thought, touch, and intention. The lessons they had learned together would continue, now with the child as a living participant in their shared journey. Weeks passed. The city thrived under the combined guidance of the princess and the human. Factions that had once plotted against them found themselves unable to resist the unity and strength demonstrated by Elias and Liara. Attempts to disrupt the city were met with calculated response, strategy, and diplomacy. The child became a symbol, not just of hope, but of the potential for cooperation between species. One evening, as the twin moons rose, Elias and Liara stood on a balcony overlooking the city, the child nestled safely in Liara's arms. The air was filled with soft light, and the hum of energy beneath their feet resonated with a steady, calm rhythm. "This city," Liara said quietly, "was once fragile, divided, and uncertain. Now it has a new strength, a new hope, and it is because of you, Elias. You have shown us what courage, empathy, and intelligence can achieve." Elias took a deep breath, feeling the calm and unity surrounding them. "And it is because of you, Liara. You trusted me, guided me, and believed that together we could face any challenge." The child, our child, is proof that even the smallest beings can change the course of worlds. The city's lights shimmered, reflecting the bond between human, princess, and child. Energy flowed through streets, buildings, and citizens, a rhythm of life and harmony. Elias realized that their journey, though far from over, had reached a pivotal moment. They had faced danger, intrigue, and uncertainty, and emerged stronger, united, and ready for whatever the future held. Liara placed the child gently into Elias' arms. He held the tiny life close, feeling its pulse merge with his own. "We will protect them," he whispered, "and through them, we will show the universe that courage, trust, and unity can create a better future." Liara nodded, resting her head against his shoulder. "Yes, together. No matter the challenge, no matter the danger, we will face it as one. This child is the beginning of something greater than ourselves, a future where understanding, compassion, and courage shape the destiny of worlds." The stars above Velira 9 twinkled like scattered diamonds, distant yet brilliant. Elias looked down at the city, at the people who had come to trust him, and at the child who represented hope, unity, and the promise of a better future. He understood now that humanity's strength was not measured solely in physical ability, but in courage, empathy, intelligence, and the willingness to act for the greater good. And as he held the child close, Elias knew that the journey they had begun together, human and alien, warrior and princess, parent and protector, was only the start of a legacy that would shape not just a city, but the destiny of two species. The universe, vast and unpredictable, had witnessed a story of courage, trust, and hope. And in that story, humans had proven that their greatest power lay not in weapons or technology, but in the heart, mind, and unwavering commitment to life itself. As the night settled over the glowing city, Elias, Liara, and their child stood together, a family forged in trust, courage, and shared purpose. The challenges ahead would be many, but they faced them united. In the quiet hum of the city, in the rhythm of energy and life, a new chapter had begun, not just for them, but for the future of Velira 9 and the bond between humans and aliens. And in that moment, beneath alien moons and starlit skies, Elias realized a truth he had long known but now understood more deeply than ever. Humanity's greatest power was the courage to act, the wisdom to understand, and the heart to protect life, no matter the odds. Together, they would shape a future brighter than any star in the universe.